All right, YouTube, we have a very, very small patch date. It's 2 weeks since Season 10 has begun. April 30, 2024, we're getting 3 changes. First on the chopping block is going to be the damage roll passive. They're actually buffing it because the damage roll passive healing reduction is going to be increased from 15% to 20%. This is what it used to be at the beginning of Season 9, and then now they're backtracking. I have some thoughts on why they're doing this, and I'll get into it after we read what they're changing. Orisa. Fortify's duration is going to be reduced from 4.5 to 3.5 seconds, and Orisa moves 20% slower while using Fortify as well. Javelin spin is also increased from 7 to 9 seconds. For Venture, the Smart Excavator maximum explosion damage is going to be decreased from 45 to 40. So Smart Excavator has 2 components of the damage. You have direct damage and then explosion damage or splash damage. So when you nerf explosion damage, your directs are also going to get nerfed as well. Direct hits used to do 80 damage. Now it only does 75. And then if you tag them with just splash, instead of doing 45, it'll do 40 when they're really close. Drill Dash, initial impact damage is decreased from 40 to 30. The total damage of Drill Dash used to be 100. Now it's going to be 90. It does 30 damage now with another 60 over time. And then Tectonic Shock is the ultimate. The cost is going to be increased by 10%. So it takes a little longer to build. A Venture combo can no longer be done to kill 250 HP heroes. That's what they're tackling with Venture, because the Smart Excavator would do 75 now, plus a melee clobber to 60, which means it's 135 plus 90. So 225 damage is all you can do in a very quick succession. You do have to do one more primary fire to finish them off, but previously, right, if you did 80 damage plus a 60 clobber is 140 plus, wait, is that actually what it used to be? Maybe you can still one shot. Maybe I'm misremembering it. But all in all, I think it's trying to reduce one of the many combos that Venture can do. I don't know which one exactly. Let me sit here for a second and figure it out. It's a shot. Oh, it's a shot melee drill dash, I think. Is it that one? Let's see. I think that does, yeah, 225 now. Or no, 200. In any case, that nerfs one of the many combos for Venture. Now for Orisa, the nerfs are quite interesting. I will say one of the reasons why Orisa became very meta in Season 9 is because when you have more HP, right now I'm in non-roll queue. You can see that I only have 475 HP. I'm supposed to have a lot more. Basically, when you press Fortify, for 4.5 seconds, you get the 50% damage reduction, right? And because Orisa's HP pool went up in Season 9, having damage reduction with a bigger HP pool in general means proportionally you're just a lot tankier. So that was a big one, number one. Number two, nerfing that from 4.5 to 3.5 seconds is a big nerf, so the duration of that is bad. And the fact that you're slower as well when you pop it feels pretty bad. And a lot of people are gonna be like, yeah, we should nerf Orisa to the gutter. You know, we don't like that meta. But as someone who was a proponent of making good hero balance, where there are a few Orisa mains out there, I believe in serving the entire like player population in terms of offset some of the problematic stuff while not making the hero absolute shit to play. And I think these Orisa nerfs are pretty bad, but they're strong. I mean, not say pretty bad. They're strong nerfs that will make Orisa pretty bad. That's what I'm saying. At least relatively speaking. It's gonna put Orisa from S tier to like C tier. Heavy nerfs, very, very heavy. Orisa being slower is big. The duration, because it's proportional to HP, is rough. And the fact that Javelin spins on a 9-second cooldown instead of 7 seconds means your DPS damage reduction rotation is going to be a lot more tight. You're going to have windows where you're actually very vulnerable, because a lot of Orisa players would you know, engage with their spin first, right? Take a little bit of damage, then pop Fortify, but Fortify lasts a shorter amount of time now. So by the time that right now I still have 3, 2, 1 before the spin comes back up, which normally would be 2 seconds faster. And then of course Fortify lasting a little longer would help offset some of that cooldown cycling. So it hurts the cooldown cycling like crazy in all those ways. That being said, I still think Orisa's like much better as a poke hero ever since the buffs in season, I think it was season 8. So they made it so Orisa used to have fall off damage, right? Where anything beyond 20 meters, her damage would scale down like crazy, or it was 25 meters. But now they buffed it so she has no fall off damage, period. So like I can be 40 meters away and actually like snipe people at full damage. And that was one of the reasons why Orisa became stronger in conjunction with all the unkillable cooldowns, is because previously Orisa was known as just purely like a brawl hero for the most part, where like you had to get really close, spin into their face and like shoot people this far away, 6 meters away in their face. But Orisa became so strong at poke because now I can snipe from 50 meters away. I land one spear into a couple of primary fire shots and you could just blow somebody up. So Orisa became much more pokey with a brawl hybrid. So that's why people were playing Orisa with like Bap Ilari, Bap Kiriko. You could just play long distances without worrying about, you know, brawling or engaging. Obviously Bap Lucio with the brawl engage is still very good, but it just gave you more options and increased her like flexibility in team comp archetypes. Definitely put Orisa into the bad tier, and I suspect one of the reasons why they buffed the DPS passive back to 20% is because if they nerf Orisa, it allows Hog to come back, and it allows Mauga to come back pretty well as well. And adding the DPS passive to be 20% reduction will help minimize these heroes from becoming too problematic. But in that case, I feel like you might as well just nerf these heroes individually, because I actually do think Hog is pretty good already. Ever since they made his hook range 3 meters, like, you're in pretty much one-shot range again for most 250 HP heroes. People will say, we hated the Orisa meta. Yeah, let's nerf Orisa to the gutter. But people are going to equally hate the Hog meta and Mauga meta. I said this yesterday. What hero are people happy with being the tank meta? Everybody wants the Kermit if it's Orisa, Mauga, Roadhog, Ball, Zarya as Resident Sleeper. I think people are only okay with maybe a Sig meta, but some people said Sig was boring. So only people are happy with a Rein meta. That's it. D.Va's okay, I guess. Rein, D.Va, maybe Queen, maybe Winton, and that's it. That's like less than half the hero roster. So is it really like a nerf Orisa and everybody will be happy, or is it just a tank design problem at this point? This will also make Mercy pretty rough again, because Mercy's healing, they didn't change it because DPS passive got nerfed from 20 to 15%, but with DPS passive back at 20, Mercy's role as like a primary healer, I mean, obviously you use her to enable a damage boost, but her healing is pretty bad if they're always tagged with the DPS passive. 20% to 55 HPS is not great. I still predict Venture will be like middle of the pack B tier. The one shot isn't there, but like all things considered, I think Venture's pretty good up close. Fills one archetype, which is the Brawl, replaces the Reaper in some Brawl comps. But obviously at the high levels, a lot of people are mostly still playing Sojourn Tracer, because in a vacuum, these two are just way too flexible and work everywhere. While Venture is specific for a very specific team comp. All right, a couple of bug fixes on this patch too. Names will no longer be revealed when blocking someone with streamer mode enabled. So there was a workaround, which was a total bug when streamer mode came out in season 10, where if you blocked and unblocked somebody, you can actually see their real name, and it kind of defeated the purpose of it. So I'm glad that got patched. Non-leader player selected a requeue button. Okay, not really a big deal. Fix a light issue that caused several sprays to look oversaturated. I don't know which bugs, which sprays looked bad. So Hanamura, they fixed an issue with the lighting on Hanamura Assault. The map is now available to play in Assault arcade mode and custom game modes. Okay, one thing with this one is that I remember when season 10 came out, I can't stand the regular Overwatch subreddit, and if you guys watch this video and you're frequents of it, there's like a lot of overreaction. Like somebody was just like, they removed Hanamura Assault when they released Hanaoka Clash. I can't believe Blizzard is removing content. Blah, 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 blah. I hate this company, blah, blah, blah. And then they just went down this entire rabbit hole, creating an entire theory about why they would remove content. And it had like 3,000 upvotes. And I'm like, I really think people on the main Overwatch subreddit don't play the game anymore, and that they're just there to complain about every single thing. For some reason, that hit my homepage on Reddit, and I don't even follow the Overwatch Reddit anymore. But it went crazy there. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure they just had an issue with the lighting, and then they just re-enabled it. I don't think they would intentionally just remove a map, because they have literally Assault arcade mode all the time. They had this yesterday as well. You could just play the Assault modes. I was playing Hanamura. I was playing the Assault maps in custom games pretty frequently. They removed it probably because they were duplicating some of the assets and lighting. Because yes, if you work in game design, I'm pretty sure like you can see Hanamura on the side of Hanaoka. Hanaoka's gone now, I think the Clash trial. But I do know if you went in Spectator, you can see assets of it, and they probably did something, moved some stuff around, and like something bugged out, and it just wasn't ready for that trial. Next, D.Va. There was a bug, yes, when you pinged, if you pinged as D.Va, it would enter several zeros into the chat. That was true. Venture, yes, there was a bug with Doomfist Rocket Punch or Orisa Javelin, where if you drill dashed against the interaction, you get launched across the map. I had it in a Mythbuster and they patched it, but my Mythbuster isn't uploaded yet. You'll see soon. Anyways, that's it for this week's patch. Let me know what you guys think.